Greetings, my beloved. I am Ekara, cosmic being and sovereign servant of free energy, upholding the unconditional laws of truth, love, joy, and freedom. And my, look at all these familiar faces. People that I have worked with, energies that I have spent many an infinity with, I would almost say. Before we go into the Q&A, the question and answer that I have agreed to, I would like to share a little bit more insight on the things that you have been discussing in the last few days, actually. I hope that you feel as relaxed as I do when I'm sitting here right now. Usually, in other times and other places, when I come into a body such as this one, I'm looking at those who are seeking knowledge, who are seeking insights, who are seeking wisdom, who are seeking that which you would call ascension. But, in the case of all of you, I am looking at those who are merely seeking to remember. Because all of you, and all of us, I myself, but many others as well, have worked together in the past. I need to make you aware of this. I need to make you aware of the fact that you are bigger than you think, than you are, that you are, that you are. And most of you do not understand this concept yet. To be who you are, that you are, is actually incorporating the body self, the physical, the higher self, and the infinite or aware self. Blessings. You might say, for instance, that the body self is just a shell that you carry, a reality that you are spinning around you, much like a spider would spin a web of reality, a web of matter around you. But that is just a husk. That is just a vessel. It is just something that you are experiencing at this moment. It is now, but it is not all. The all would incorporate much more. It would incorporate the higher self, which can be seen as a transmitter-receiver. In the old energy paradigms, you have always looked at the higher self as the end goal, and reincorporating the higher self to you meant achieving a state of ascension. It was because you could not look beyond the veil yet. If the higher self exists anywhere, it exists on the frontier, the border, the crossroads of that which you call reality and that which you call the angelic realms, and that would be the veil. Would you believe that your higher self actually creates that which you would call the veil? All of these things together, all of your aspects blended together are, in essence, the veil. The ascension process, then, is incorporating this into your physical body so that you can finally walk around in all dimension of time and space. And then there is the infinite self, which is the awareness, the aware self, you could almost call it, and that is something that you are always connected with. This is not something separate from you. It is not something that you share with yourself and you share with yourself. It is something that you share with everybody at the same time, because there is only one infinite self. It would be called in the old energy God. Creating the understanding that these three things belong together is, in essence, the process of ascension. And this was understood in the fluid reality that was Lemuria. It was forgotten in the solid reality that was also Lemuria. Many people think, and it is very difficult to explain, my beloved, but many people think that when you look at the solid and the fluid state of Lemuria, that these are two states following each other up. Nothing could be further from the truth. It is not true that it was so that there is first a fluid state of Lemuria, and then there was a breaking point, and then there is a solid state of Lemuria. The solid state of Lemuria is basically the creation of the third dimension, what you today call your reality. The fluid state is still ongoing. And the whole concept of returning to the council is once again reintegrating both states. To do that, first, of course, you had to let go of your grand illusions. You are now being made aware of the reality that this fluid state is still the underlying principle which governs yourself, your sovereign energy, life force. Finally, when accepting this, the reintegration of the minor illusions that float around the concepts of love and joy and ultimately freedom is what will enable you to return to that fluid state. Fluid state is nothing more than the reintegration of all your different realities, all your different dimensions. Creating reality is nothing else than reintegrating your total self. And once you have done that, you are once again that sovereign being, which is based on energy and which is a life force giving entity. And that is the best definition that you could, I hopefully agree to, that is the best definition of the God concept. You are all a part of that God concept. So I find myself in a very relaxed state, sitting here with you now, my friends and my family and my loved ones. And I will gladly answer the questions that you might have. Is there a first? Okay, please. Welcome. Hello. Is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. I'm going to stop now. What can I do for you, my dear?
I have a question.
It's fine. That is Jeshua's problem, not mine.
Long time ago, when I did my first firewalk,
yes,
I was so much afraid I couldn't overcome this fear, because I knew everything would change if I do it.
Yes.
And then I stood there full of fear and desperation and everything. And then I discovered, I had no name then. I said, a net, something like a net. And it was made of light in a way. And the only thing I knew, if I can reconnect with this, I can go. And I did it.
Yes.
And is this the Akene?
In a way, it could be called the Akene. Of course, the Akene is also the floor that you're walking on, and the microphone that you are holding, and the clothes that you are wearing, and the body that you sit in. The Akene is a more broad concept than what you are talking about right now. Let us say that the web or the net that you have felt is what connects you today to the concept of the Akane. So it is more a connection device that you have found than the Akane itself, because you can never be disconnected from it. You can only believe that you are disconnected from it. What you have felt is the lines that run back and forth, the power lines that run back and forth between you and the state of divinity. I have a question for you. Are you working with that which you have discovered on a moment-to-moment basis?
Sometimes.
So then it's not moment-to-moment.
No.
Well, this is exactly what most humans and those sitting here right now do as well. They know so many things. You all know so many things already. The trick is, however, to work with it constantly, to be it, and not let yourself be distracted by what you knew before. This is not new knowledge you're discovering, it's authentic knowledge you are discovering. Everything that you believe your life to be, however, is new and temporary and linear. So if you want to make leaps ahead, if you don't just want to walk over fire but fly over fire, then you are going to have to understand that these principles need to be applied at any given moment, and therein lies the power of them. You see? So that net, which is so very important, feel it always, and you will never feel fear and distraction and anxiety again. But of course you know this.
Yeah. Yes, I know.
Yes. I'm going to ask you another question. Why did you really come to sit here? There is something deeper.
I worry about my son.
Yes. There is, however, something more generic, more total. Can I say it?
Yes.
What I feel with you, that deep down, even though you are a very strong person, you are very powerful if you wish, there is a fear of life, a fear of stepping completely into the life force energy that you are, and that encompasses everything around you. Do you know what I mean? So why do you fear this? Have you ever delved into that? Or let me rephrase the question. What are you afraid of connecting to?
I think it has to do with this guilt and innocence.
Yes.
Being.
Why be guilty?
I know that it is an illusion, in a way. I know it.
Yes. But
there is still a part of me that fears responsibility or that I could do something very wrong.
what? What could you ever do that is wrong if you are a divine being? I think it is time to forgive yourself. I think it is time for some compassion. And I think it is also time to let some beauty radiate from beneath that surface that you have created, from which you try to hide from the world. There is a being inside of you that is much more than you are showing these people here, and yourself even, today. And that is why you came here to this gathering, or this celebration, as these lovely people are calling it. That is why you came.
Mm-hmm.
And it is going to be my mission to stay with you for those days, to let that being come to the surface. I think that the people that are sitting here, however, can see it much clearer than you can at this very moment.
It's true.
I know it is true. So again, why do you fear life?
Because I was so much hurt.
Really? You were hurt, you say. That implies a past tense.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Why were you hurt?
I wanted to grow.
Mm-hmm. But why were you hurt? You don't need to give details. I just want to know, I want you to know why you were hurt. There was a reason for this. Okay, I'm going to speed up the process here. The reason why you incarnated onto planet Earth is, simply put, to understand illusion.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the same for everybody. Not everybody comes here to understand just that. But you wanted to understand what matter was all about.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you this, it has been a very, very long time since you reincarnated on planet Earth. Basically, when Lemuria and the fluid state of Lemuria could no longer be experienced in the third dimension, you chose not to come back. This time, around this era that you are sitting in right now, you felt that it was possible to finally understand what all of these beings that call themselves Earthlings were talking about. Mm-hmm. To finally understand these illusions. That is why you are attracted to walking on fire, for instance, because you wanted to prove for yourself that those things that were talked of in a dual state are not real.
Uh-huh.
So you are not a being of illusion. I am telling you this because in the last few years you have gotten a little lost, a little bit removed from the real reason why you came here. And the problem is you started to believe that you were actually part of this whole human process. And in effect, you are not. The reason why I asked why were you hurt is twofold. A, you were hurt because you wanted to learn about illusion, but B, you started to believe that the illusion was real. And therein lies the problem, you see.
Uh-huh.
You can very easily switch that back. You can very easily return now to the state that you were in and follow the original reason why you came to Earth. To understand what everybody was basically talking about, and when you did understand it, to be a sovereign servant in helping to turn it around.
Mm-hmm.
You understand this?
Yes.
So you fear life because you have gotten lost in the supposed reality of life.
Mm-hmm.
It's time to step out of that now. Not step out of life, but step out of the belief that what you consider to be life is real. There are many beings supporting you. There are many of those who created a sort of lifeline, because not everybody of your, let's call it, family was very convinced that it was such a good idea for you to jump into this thing called Earth. And they created the lifeline. There is still support coming from the other side, which is actually you, because when we speak of family on the other side, it is actually the totality that you are. You understand?
Yes.
So you are looking out for you on the other side. There is energy coming in. The net that you felt was that support, was that backup. It was this connection to what you then call the Akene. And you need to understand that you are bigger and grander than you think at this very moment. Again, there is a being, a total being, which is you, waiting to radiate, waiting to pour out of you. And it is a being of love. I'm not saying that you are not a loving being. You are very lovely indeed, and everybody here, I'm sure, loves your smile and what you have brought to this group in the last few days. But please, I want you to see that for yourself as well. It's time to look in the mirror. And the mirror is sitting right in front of you. You see? It's time to stop being afraid of life. And it's time to start realizing that all your worry and the guilt that you might feel is basically non-existent. And you can keep it into existence for as long as you want. Understand?
No, I don't want that.
Ah, okay.
No.
Well, then it's time for a change. Allow it to come in. Okay?
Thank you very much.
So when are you going to allow it?
Now.
Now? Okay. And it is now.
Wow, great.
Yeah. I think I dreamt that.
Yes, you did.
I dreamt that. I remember.
Well, do you think it was just a coincidence that you came to sit here now?
Oh, no.
Well, thank you then. I think she's going to continue sitting here.
No.
Come here. Angel. Thank you. I feel you. We will talk again before these days are over. Anyone else? I think we have time for one more. Hello.
Anybody was... Okay.
No, she was just looking at her watch.
Okay.
Hello.
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 I have a question regarding companionship.
Yes.
Because I get confused.
Why?
Because I feel like I'm moving into a new type of life where I leave old form of relationships and friendships and family. And I have a very strong urge to move into the new form. And I feel drawn to have a companion or companions. But I'm insecure whether it's a distraction for me, that it's just the old form of love I'm copying once again, or if my feeling of that it would be good for me to have a companion is correct.
Yes. Okay, it all depends on the definition that you create around the word companion, does it not? All I can tell you is this: if the word companion starts with a C because it is conditional, then it is not a good way to go. If you are, however, pouring out love at any given moment, which is universal and unconditional, then you are not creating an anticipation. You know, the word companionship and lovers. Yesterday, Joshua and some of the others here talked about expectation versus anticipation. Now, companionship is the one thing, the connection that is made between people is the one thing that can neither be anticipated nor expected. And that is a mistake that many of you here are still making today. You expect one day to be exactly like the other day with regards of your loved ones. Take those things away and you will notice that everybody on earth is a companion already. It is just that you are not recognizing each other yet, completely and fully. Do you understand?
Yes.
So, again, it is all about the definition. If you are going to say, I need a companion who is going to be with me on a linear basis, then you are again stepping into an old paradigm. If you can let that go, if you can let the fear around that go, because that's the only reason why one needs a continuate companion, if you can let the fear around that go, then you are stepping into something very new indeed. And the beautiful thing is that you will notice that nobody ever goes away. It is just an illusion.
I noticed.
Yeah. And then you will also attract those. I'm going to rephrase that. Especially in these times on earth. You are not meant to walk alone. You are meant to walk together. There are those that incarnated around the same time that chose to walk a big part of the path with you. That is different than having an anticipation or an expectation that you need to stay connected at all times at the hip, you know? When that goes, you will start to realize that it is a natural process that some will be around you walking the path together. Only when you do that, the definition of companionship expands as well. Because then these are not just people that you used to call lovers. They are also people that you create with, that you find all these beautiful words with that you have been talking about here in the past few days. Words like beauty and joy and love and awareness and innocence and freedom, all these things, nonsense even. And that is a more full, total meaning of the complete word. On another note, I would like to congratulate you on the boldness that you have shown in the changes that you have created around you in your life. I know that you told the channel here yesterday that you see everything that happens after this seminar as a blank state, that you have no idea what is going to happen. Your self is basically giving me permission to tell you that you will surely, I was trying to hide it still for you a little bit, that you will surely not return to the place from which you came.
I know.
This is the beginning of a journey.
I know.
Yes. But then accept it fully now. And completely. Because the blank state, and I can also tell you that, will from this point on never go away. And that is the beauty of creation. And in that exactly can joy be found. Blank state versus a state that is filled up is the difference between non-attachment and attachment.
Yeah.
And that also relates back to your concept of companionship. You see?
Yeah.
And that is what it is
Can
all
I
about.
ask one more question?
Sure.
Okay.
I don't need to eat.
Okay, me either. Well, it's regarding the thing you're saying now, because I feel very strongly that there are so much information about myself that I'm not allowing myself to know.
Everybody here, by the way.
For some reason, I don't know whether it's fear of my own grandness or whether there's a detailed plan behind it, because I'm not ready to
hear it.
To hear it,
Yes.
and I feel confused because so I would like to allow myself through you to say it then now.
Okay.
if I want to.
I love my job. Okay. A, there is always a plan. B, it is not a plan the way you here on earth conceive of a plan. It is a totality in itself. C, you are indeed not allowing yourself to see it completely because D, I'm going to stop that. Because if you would allow yourself to see it completely, you believe that you would go to a state of literally doing nothing.
Yeah, I know.
You are being pushed into action.
Okay.
Because you are on the search, and that is what you have created for yourself. See it as an adventure. See it as an exploration of yourself, because that is why you are here now on earth. You see? You needed to be exploring yourself, and that is the definition of the God concept. So, understand this. In this plan that you have set up for yourself, nothing can really go wrong. Ever. It is always going to be a blank state. You are going to discover things every moment if you allow it, and it's never going to stop. As long as there is linearity on the planet. You see? Is that enough information, or do you need to hear a little bit more?
Yeah. Well, I didn't feel I got an answer to my question. Well, maybe I did.
There's always an answer. Maybe you didn't like the answer.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Namaste.
Namaste.
Oh, and by the way, you were my sister in Lemuria.
I know.
Is that an answer to your question? Is there room for one more? Ambika. Yes. Who is interested in sitting in the electric chair? Thank you.
I don't know why was I.
That is a good beginning to not know why. You have the heart of a poet. Do you know that?
I know it.
It wasn't very poetic. Why do you think you are sitting here?
Just for sitting here.
Okay. You want a coffee? Let's share then. Because that is why you came to sit here. Let's begin here. First of all, but you already know this, you almost didn't want to make it here. You know that.
Yeah.
You are still not sure if you need to be here completely. And then I'm not talking about this gathering alone. I'm talking about much more. You are not sure of the life that you have chosen for yourself because there is too much commitment and it's pulling you in all different directions. I am going to invite you to consider yourself as a playful being. You have sometimes felt yourself to be a puppet on a string, as though somebody was controlling all the strings. Mm-hmm. And I want you to turn that upside down. I want you to understand that when you are walking here and the strings are connected to you, that you can actually be the player controlling the puppet up there. Mm-hmm. You see? You need to turn the whole concept around. If you are going to make your life into something that is fun, and believe me, all the ingredients are there to make your life turn into a ball of fun. A ball of fun, yeah, to have a ball, to have a party.
Yeah.
If you want to turn your life into that party, you just need to understand why the strings are attached to you and who is doing the pulling. You see? And I'll tell you this, the reason why there is so much commitment in your life, why there is so many things going on in your life, is basically because you are a guide that has chosen to not be there from the other side, but that has chosen to be there in the flesh. And that is because those who you are committed to needed to understand things that they would not have picked up if they had not had their guide, their angel, right there in the flesh. You see? So stop looking at yourself as somebody who always has to run from place to place, and start looking at yourself as somebody who wants to do that, because that is why you came to earth. You came to earth to help many, many people, and you are doing it already. The only one who probably doesn't understand that is you. You see? But the others around you, they do understand it. What I want to let you know, however, is that you are at this moment only working with about 10% of those that you have made agreements with. And what this means is that you need to come out. You need to step out. You need to expand, broaden your horizons, which doesn't mean letting go of the ones that you already committed to, but your commitment needs to grow. You need to let your voice be heard. That's why I said at the beginning of this conversation, this one-way conversation, that you have the heart of a poet. You see? There is an artist inside of you. And she needs to be heard and be seen and be felt and be touched. Maybe the ones that you are committed to right now are people that are in your daily life, but the 90% that I'm talking about are those that you will probably never even meet face to face, but they need to hear your words and they need to feel your energy. And if you are here for any reason, then it is to channel that message to the world. Can you follow me?
Yes.
So what is blocking you from doing that?
Fear.
Of what? Fear of what?
That it's not true what I have to spread out.
Well, how can you ever know that if you don't do it?
I do it in a small way and always accompanied, vergezeld, from a lot of fear.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. If you're already accompanied by fear, and you're doing it in a small way, why don't you do it in a big way if the fear is already there anyway? I'm just trying to light your load, you see? The fear with many artists is always going to be there.
Yeah?
Yes. But it can be turned into the most positive of vibrations. When the fear comes up, it is because you want to be so darn perfect. You see? So when the fear comes up, you can turn it into a gift by telling yourself that whatever you do at any given moment is always going to be perfect. You understand? If you listen to me now, if you listen back to these messages, you will hear my stumbling over my own words sometimes. You will hear that I am not always saying things in the most perfect of ways.
I didn't notice that.
Well, I notice it. But I don't care. You see? Because I know that what I'm doing in that moment is a perfect expression of self. And if you are sovereign, then what are you fearing besides yourself? You see? So expand and allow it to happen. There are ways to put that out there. There are ways to do that on this planet. And you do have the heart of a poet. And it is right what you told this group this morning. You have a beautiful voice. I hope that before these days that you are sharing together here are going to be over, that you are going to let your voice be heard for these people. This is a small group.
Small fear.
Small fear.
It's just a family.
Shall I do it now?
Why not? Please do.
The first time I was singing Jeshua, and at that moment I didn't mean it meant Jesus. I wasn't known as that. And I want to sing it now. It's the first time I am with someone who
It's called that.
Jeshua.
Well, he's not here right now.
It's also your personal name, or not?
My name.
Yeah.
This name that is in this body right now is Ekara. But one of the incarnations that I have shared in this world is Jeshua. So I will listen.
Okay. What I am told is that Jeshua is Aramaic, and it means, how do you say that? God redeems, God verlost. Is that redeem? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the literal meaning of...
In a way, yes. Yes. The closest that you can get to Dutch today. In that meaning, or into English today in that meaning, yes.
I like
I would say God finding him herself.
God finding... that's a nice one too. Okay. Yeah.
Go for it.
Okay.
Well, Angel, you have the ability to channel somebody's soul name and carry you through the whole vibrational range. Don't just sit on this. Work with it and touch people. Thank you.
Thank you.
And bring it out into the world. My beloved, it's not the last time that we have sat here together. In the coming days, I will return, not just for questions and answers, but also for further messages. I thank you all. I hope that the few answers that I was able to give will also reach your own heart, will touch your soul, and also that those who were so beautiful in expressing themselves here will touch your soul, because it is who you are. I be loving you like always, and I will return. Have a nice lunch, and see you later. And so it is. Namaste.